I'll be honest with you, I have a love-hate relationship with Pinterest. I love creating new pins, and when one of them takes off, they bring traffic to my blog for months and even sometimes years to come. But at the same time, Pinterest scheduling and pin creation take a lot of time. And when you're not seeing results, it can be really frustrating to keep going with the platform. You may start to wonder if Pinterest is even worth it. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I was marked as spam on Pinterest. And it took me a while to realize what the problem was. So it got me thinking when my account was in a huge slump, is Pinterest even worth it? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Let's start with the pros and cons of the platform because there's a few of each. And then from there, you can decide if Pinterest marketing is even worth it for your brand. The one thing about Pinterest is it takes a lot of time to work. And it takes a lot of effort to start seeing results. I spend 1 day a week on Pinterest marketing. And that's just for my own account. When I am working with clients, I also pick a different day out of the week to work on their accounts as well. And this includes things like analyzing stats to see what's working, what's not, what links I should promote, creating pin templates, actually creating the pins, and then writing the descriptions and scheduling. All of that takes a lot of time and effort. And the kicker is your pin may get 20 impressions and no clicks for months on end. And then there's just the amount of time that it takes for a pin to start doing well on the platform in general. I have multiple pins that took off on my account over a year after they were pinned. And then since then, they've been giving me steady traffic for the last 2 years. But the problem is if you are a brand new account and you don't see results right away, you're probably going to get discouraged and stop working before you even see those results. So that's the thing about this platform is you can't just pin for a week and start to expect seeing results. Looking at that alone, you might be wondering why in the world would Pinterest ever be worth it? And I could see why you would think that. But if you can stick out the hard stages of Pinterest, once it starts working for you, it really doesn't stop. I know it sucks in the beginning to not be seeing results, but let me show you some of my results now that I've been working on this for quite a few years. I currently have over 105,000 monthly views and just over 2.5k followers to my account. And I pin primarily my own content, so all of those views are going to my pins. If you look at my backend stats, you can see in the last 30 days for my overall performance, my stats are only improving. It's like a snowball effect on the platform. It takes a while to get going, but in the end, it's really worth it. The goal is to pin onto the platform and wait for a few pins to take off. And then once they do, just ride that wave of traffic. But keep pinning, because hopefully by the time those pins finally fall off, you'll have some new pins to take its place. So you will always be getting consistent traffic. Another issue with Pinterest though is your results are going to vary from month to month and even pin to pin. One pin may pop off and bring you a ton of clicks, but the next 10 to 15 may be duds. That's one of the issues with Pinterest is not every pin is going to pop off and do well. So it may take you 20 to 50 pins to find one that's actually going to perform in the algorithm. And you may have absolutely no idea why. I haven't really noticed a pattern between what pin is going to do well and what pin is not going to do well. For the most part at least, there's some aspects of pins like the topics that you know are going to do better than others, but for the most part, you might have no idea why a certain pin is taken off, which makes it really hard to replicate. So you might be stuck creating pins that get 30 views in a month and you're wondering what you're doing wrong. For example, check out these two pins I have. I mentioned I had a few pins take off a year after they were pinned, and these two pins are one of those examples. Both pins brought me 50 clicks in the last 30 days. One was created February 14th of 2021, and the other one was created March 3rd of 2021. Both of these are top performing blog posts on my site, and they're usually top performing pins on my Pinterest as well. But if we take a look at the impressions, here's where it gets confusing. One pin got 1,183 views in the last 30 days, and the other one got 34,390 views in the last 30 days. How is it possible that one pin got literally 33,000 views less than the other, but they still have the exact same amount of link clicks? And the answer is the topic of the pins. The truth of the matter is not every niche on Pinterest is going to do well. And we can see that based off of results from my very own account. As a general rule, productivity is one of those things that does really well on Pinterest as a whole, but I notice on my account specifically, and if anytime I pin something morning routine or affirmation related, that does really well. So my theory for why these two pins got drastically different views is the Ivy League productivity pin got pushed out to a wider audience, leading to a certain amount of clicks. But the morning affirmations pin got sent out to specifically my audience, which does really well. So it got the same amount of clicks, but it got less views. And this is also another example of pins doing drastically different from one pin to the next. And there are a lot of other confusing factors into why a pin does well or does not do well, and we have no idea what those are. But one thing is for sure, not every niche is created equal on Pinterest. So in some cases, Pinterest could be a waste of your time. It would be worth looking into what niches do well on Pinterest before you start putting time into the platform. Because if you are in a niche that doesn't do well or isn't as popular on Pinterest, you may be wasting your time by putting pins out onto the platform. So, do I think Pinterest is worth it or not? And the answer is it depends. Let me explain. If you are in a niche that does well on Pinterest and you have the time and dedication and energy to put into learning Pinterest marketing strategies, and you have the time and energy to dedicate each week to creating Pinterest pins on the platform, then yes, I think Pinterest is going to be worth it for you. But if you are in a niche that doesn't do well on Pinterest, or you don't have the time to dedicate to the platform and pinning each week, or you don't have the patience to wait 6+ months before you start seeing results, then no, Pinterest might not be worth it for you because you're going to quit before you even start seeing results. So if you are a numbers driven person and you need to see results right away, you're probably going to quit before you even start seeing those results. And in that case, it might not be worth it for you. Pinterest is starting to take more and more time to start seeing results on the platform. It is not a get views quick scheme anymore. This platform is not something that you can pin onto for 1 week, forget about for 2 weeks because you didn't have the time to pin, and then try to come back to it another week later and keep pinning and expect to see consistent results. You need to be consistently putting work into the platform each week and constantly pinning as much as you can to see what resonates with your audience and what doesn't. And if you're interested in learning more Pinterest marketing strategies, you'll like one of these 2 videos here. Make sure to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. And I'll see you next week. Bye!